Imagine a story where the hero disappears for nearly 2 decades, only to return and change the course of history forever. This is the mystery of the missing years of Jesus, a puzzle that has fascinated historians, theologians, and seekers for centuries. After Jesus appears at age 12, teaching in the temple in Jerusalem, the New Testament doesn't mention him again until he's 30. Suddenly he's baptized, his ministry begins, and he's out teaching healing and gathering followers. This 18-year gap, nearly 2 decades, leaves a lot of room for mystery. Now let's explore the first theory. This is where it gets interesting. Many believe Jesus might have traveled to far-off lands, places like India, Tibet, Egypt, and Persia, absorbing ideas from some of the world's oldest spiritual traditions. For example, there's an ancient Hindu text, the Bhavishya Purana, which supposedly mentions a saint-like figure who resembles Jesus and who visits India. According to legend, this figure taught love, forgiveness, and compassion, ideas remarkably similar to those in Jesus' ministry. Then we have the Notovich manuscript, a controversial document that claims Jesus studied Buddhism in India. Though some scholars doubt its authenticity, the theory has fascinated people for centuries. Imagine the impact if Jesus learned from these diverse cultures and spiritual traditions. It would explain why his teachings on compassion, inner peace, and nonviolence resonate across so many religious boundaries. Of course, these ideas remain speculative, but they add a compelling layer to our understanding of the man we know as Jesus. Let's go deeper into one of the most interesting theories, the idea that Jesus may have studied Buddhist teachings. Buddha, who lived several hundred years before Jesus, shared teachings about compassion, selflessness, and inner peace that closely resemble those we find in the New Testament. This parallel has led some to wonder if Jesus might have come into contact with Buddhist thought. The story goes that he could have journeyed through the Silk Road, where trade and ideas flowed freely between East and West. For example, both Buddha and Jesus emphasize the kingdom within, teaching that spiritual peace comes from within rather than from external sources. Could these similarities be pure coincidence? Some scholars argue that the cultural and spiritual exchange along the Silk Road could explain it. But for others, it's a tantalizing mystery that hints at Jesus possibly spending time among Buddhist monks. It's important to remember that while these parallels are fascinating, there's no solid historical evidence connecting Jesus directly with Buddhism, only intriguing theories that fuel speculation. The final theory takes us back to a simpler possibility, that Jesus spent these years quietly working as a carpenter in Nazareth. In this view, he was learning the values of hard work, humility, and service, all qualities he later embodied in his teachings. Life in Nazareth at the time was humble and somewhat isolated. Many scholars believe that if Jesus stayed, he would have lived a grounded life, deeply connected to his family and community. He could have been honing his spiritual path through daily life, seeing divinity in ordinary work and relationships. This image of Jesus as a young carpenter, quietly reflecting and growing, has a kind of power. It suggests that he didn't need to go anywhere to become the teacher he would later be, that his journey was one of inner transformation as much as outward learning. In the end, the missing years of Jesus remain an open question. Did he travel far and wide, gathering wisdom from other lands? Or did he stay in Nazareth, quietly shaping his spiritual insights? We may never have all the answers, but these theories give us a window into the possibilities. Each one offers a glimpse into the mysteries that shaped one of the most influential figures in history. Whether or not these theories hold historical truth, the missing years continue to spark curiosity, showing us that sometimes it's the unanswered questions that draw us closer to understanding